I want to do a part two, a video part two on multiplying polynomials. So we should all know that distribution is really easy. All you're doing is ignoring one of your terms and distributing the other one, right? So if you ignore the plus 1 and you distribute 3c times c, you get your first term 3c squared. Okay? And then if you continue to distribute 3c times negative 2, that's going to be negative 6 with the c. And then if you, now that you've already distributed the 3c to both, let's ignore the 3c and distribute the positive 1. Notice that I'm including the sign. Positive 1 times c, that's positive 1c, so you're going to put plus 1c. Now we're going to distribute positive 1 times negative 2, that'll be negative 2. And out of the four terms that you see there, it's really ugly, I apologize. The minus 6c and the plus 1c, that'll give you a negative 5c. It's like owing $6 and only having $1, but you pay off the dollar, you still owe 5 after that. You bring down the 3c squared, bring down the minus 2, and that's your quadratic trinomial answer. That's it. Now, that's what we've been doing on the other video. What I want to do on this video is jump to something more interesting, kind of like a binomial times a trinomial. Okay? So we have a lot of those on the final part of this homework. Let's jump to number 19. Why not? So we're going to distribute one term at a time. I want to distribute the w first. So w times w squared, that's w to the third. W times 3w, that's plus 3w squared. You guys follow me?
Yes.
W times negative 6, what is that? Negative 6w. Okay, so we've distributed one term. We ignored the, we've distributed the w to all three terms. So now let's ignore the w and distribute the positive 4. So you could go positive 4 times w to the second. What's that going to be? Positive 4w to the second. And then positive 4 times positive 3w, positive 12w. And that's it. Okay, and then, oh, the last one, 4 times negative 6, it's negative 24. Wow, that's really ugly. That's a negative 24. Now we have all these terms, and we could combine like terms. So let's combine. Well, let's start by writing our answer in standard form. The highest exponent should go first. We're going to have a w to the third. And then we're going to go for the next highest exponent. So I want to combine this positive 3w squared with this positive 4w squared. 3 plus 4, they're both positive, will be 7w squared. You're not changing the exponents because you're not multiplying. If you were multiplying, yeah, you would change the exponents. Because after all, exponents are multiplication, right? So right here, you're combining like terms. Exponents do not change. Moving on to your next term, you have a negative 6w with a positive 12w. So if you combine those, you're going to get a positive 6w left over. And the last term that you have right here is a negative 24. So you're going to put down a minus 24 at the very end. And that's your final answer right there. Now, I want to emphasize what I've done here. I've combined like terms with different symbols. Now, what do I mean by different symbols? I just brought down the w to the third. I use circles to show that I'm combining the w squares. I underlined the w's to combine those, and I put the constant in a box. That's what I showed when I combined like terms. So first you distribute, let me move this out of the way. First you distribute, and then you combine like terms. Now, I want to show you a different way of setting up your answer. Instead of combining like terms like this, it might be a little easier to do what I'm about to do on number 22. So check out 22. I'm going to distribute m times m squared. What do I get? M cubed. How about m times 3m? What do I get? Positive 3m squared. And then last but not least, m times 5. What do I get? positive 5m. It's important that we put the positive in front. If not, it's going to look all weird. So we've already distributed the m's. Let me move it over and now distribute the positive 3. And I want to do this one in blue, all right? When I go positive 3 times m squared, what do I get?
3m.
Positive 3m squared. Now check this out. Instead of writing it right there, this is what I want to do. I want to erase it. I want to write it right below what I need to combine it with. So in other words, I want to write the 3m squared right below the other 3m squared. It's just another way of doing it. I think it's a cleaner way of doing it. And then let's continue to distribute. If we go positive 3 times positive 3m, what am I going to get? Positive 9m. Now, where am I going to write that one? I'm going to write it below the other 5m. So positive 9m right below. And last but not least, the 3 times the 5, that's 15 at the very end. And notice that there's nothing to combine it with. It's just a plus 15, right, at the very end. Then you could draw a line like this. That way it looks like you're actually adding this down, this with that. You're just combining the lines. So your final answer will be m to the third plus 6m squared. You're just adding. You don't mess with exponents when you're adding. Plus 14m plus 15. When you line it up like this, m squares on top of m squares, m's on top of m's. When you line it up like this, you don't have the confusion of up here where we had to circle what we were combining, underline what we were combining. It's just, I think it's cleaner. You don't have to do it, but you could line it up. It kind of makes it a little neater. The m squares are lined up, m's are lined up, so you just combine as you go down. And that's your answer. What do you think?
Cute.
All right.